お前らと一緒ならとんでもないお宝と出会いそうだぜ。
Hey, what's up everyone, Lad here. Merry Christmas to everyone. We've got a new traveler coming this Wednesday. The long-awaited merchant, Leon, is finally here. For those who don't know him, he was a stable character in Tressa's story in OCTOPATH 1. In cotc, he's a merchant capable of dealing both polearm and staff damage in his abilities. He'll be the strongest staff traveler to date. Let's go ahead and check him out. Jun Inoue is his VA, and he voices small roles in animes. And fun fact, he's the OG VA for Leon in OCTOPATH 1. Now let's go ahead and take a look at his notable damaging skills. For his first ability, he has a 3-hit random target polearm and staff physical damage attack, SP cost of 28, and potency of 55. All of his abilities are calculated through polearm damage. After using this ability, he activates multi-hit. Multi-hit gives him an active skill, allowing him to have some abilities reactivated with no SP consumption. His next ability is his 5-hit random target polearm physical damage attack, SP cost is 70, potency 55. And after using this ability, he activates multi-hit. His third ability is a 1-hit AoE polearm and staff physical damage attack, SP cost of 55, potency 150. Using this ability gives a 15% and physical elemental defense down for all enemies for 2 turns, and it cancels multi-hit, so this ability reactivates again. His fourth ability is the same as the last one. On this one, he's able to give a 15% physical and elemental attack down for 2 turns, and again cancels multi-hit and reactivates ability again. And then for his last ability, or nuke, he has a single target polearm and staff physical damage attack, SP cost of 52, potency of 230. And along with this ability, he gives the enemy a 10% polearm and staff resist down for 10% for 2 turns. And with this ability, it cancels multi-hit and it reactivates. For his ultimate, he has a 2-hit single target polearm and staff physical damage attack, potency of 210 at level 1 and 250 at level 10. Again, polearm damage calculation, and he also gives the front row 1 BP recovery for 2 turns. Now for his notable support skills, he doesn't have too many that are great. He has an ability where he can give himself a 100% crit rate for 3 turns for any of his attacks. Now onto his passives. When multi-hit is active, he gets a plus 20% in polearm damage and a 20% SP reduction in his abilities. His second passive, while in the front row, all allies in the front row get a 20% attribute resistance. So this could be 20% wind, fire, light, dark, etc. And then he has a 10% in ice resistance and 20 in fire. Now taking a look at his stats here, his attack is tied for Krauser, 444, so he's going to be a rather hard hitting character. His speed is slightly above Krauser's, with his other stats being decent. So the main question, should you pull? As a merchant, he's great. He's capable of breaking staff shields, which is surprisingly useful when you need it. Now let's go ahead and compare him to the 2 best merchants currently in the game. Krauser, a short burst of massive damage, and the other, a global buffed Roland. Starting with Krauser, after using his one-time abilities along with his ultimate, he becomes obsolete in terms of damage in the long run. Let's say you're up against a boss with lots of HP. If you're not able to do enough damage within those turns, you'll have a difficult time breaking shields and dealing damage compared to either Leon or Roland. Now onto Roland. Roland right now is potentially the best polearm user, even when compared to Leon or Krauser. He has an AoE 4-hit polearm attack at all times, that could be 5, switching from the back row. He's able to passively debuff polearm resistance with his passive. Not to also mention, using his ultimate, he's able to further decrease polearm resistance down, burning both Leon and Roland. Both of them require a 1-turn setup. As you can see, Leon has a setup as multi-hit attacks, and Roland needs to be in the back row for his attacks to activate again. So while they're both similar, Leon is more support based, and the fact that he's able to debuff enemy attack and defenses, he's able to recover your party's BP, and then finally his passive. He gives the entire front row a 20% attribute resistance. That might not sound too much right now, but moving forward, having elemental resistance is going to be another great way to keep your characters alive. And then for Roland, if you can defeat your enemies within 15 turns, Krauser might be the one you want to bring. If you know that's going to be a long battle, Roland currently is still the best merchant. So quick summary. Think of Leon as a support DPS, think of Krauser as a burst DPS, and think of Roland as an all-around full-arm debuff merchant. Longevity. Leon is good, but if you already have Roland, it could be a potential skip. Again, in terms of breaking and polearm debuffing, Roland has the upper hand. If you're up against an enemy who is weak to staff or you need extra debuffer, Leon could definitely give you a hand. Leon is also part of the Sacred Blaze banner, so recall that this is the same banner that Liana and Odette are in. This banner will come back more frequently in the future, whereas Roland, who was a limited time character, was part of a collaboration. Most gacha games, when they have a collab, those characters don't get a rerun until almost a year or so. So if you weren't able to pull for Roland, Leon as a polearm user will almost be as good. Roland's global buff was so good that it's difficult not to use him against enemies that are weak to polearms. This Wednesday I'll be doing a few pulls to see if I get him. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Character design 4 to 5. He looks pretty cool. It's nice to see him again. Voice actor Jun Inoue. I'm not familiar with his work, but it's good to hear him again from OCTOPATH 1. Abilities 4 to 5, comparable with Roland. Longevity, he'll definitely have usage as he can hit both polearm and staff. Time limited, sadly he is. He's part of the Sacred Blaze banner. Overall impression, a solid 4 to 5. He could have been much better if his 5-hit attack also hit staff weakness as well, and if his abilities were a single target instead of being random targets. As a traveler, he checks all the boxes of being a great unit. His breaking abilities are good, support's good, and nuking is great. Alright, well that's it for Leon. Let me know if you'll be pulling from this Wednesday. I'll catch you next time. Take care of yourself like always. Head out.